Hey, it's Alicia with Successfilled. I'm so glad you're here. How can you use light to drive out darkness? I thought about this after I saw a quote by Martin Luther King Jr., the civil rights activist and pacifist. And this is from the sermon, Loving Your Enemies. Here's the quote: Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. I absolutely believe this is true, but I also think it's really hard to put into practice. But there's a simple and fun way to change your mindset to minimize the negative impact on you of hurtful words or actions. And don't get me wrong, it's still challenging to act in a loving way towards someone who's being rude, disrespectful, or hateful to you, but I'll show you a way that can help. And before I do, here's some thoughts about why I think the effort to drive out darkness with light is worth making instead of, reacting and saying or doing something hurtful right back. Okay. Somehow hateful, violent, and rude acts and words have become normalized. It's not just a few isolated situations. These events are regularly happening, and I'm guessing that either you or someone you know has experienced this type of disrespectful or worse behaviors from someone else. Somehow differences have become bad. I don't really know why, but well, I guess I know some of the reasons why, but I think it's very unfortunate. And it's as if you're not my brother, you're the other. Like, I feel like it's become even like more polarized or becoming that way. And this type of thinking definitely keeps driving us apart instead of helping us come together and valuing the contributions that each of us make. And it's the diversity of thought and actions that help generate new ideas and innovations to help make the world better. I mean, diversity has been a well-researched subject, and this has been shown to be true. So now, although it would be nice to be able to stop people from ever behaving badly, that's not possible. You can influence what others think and do, but you can't make them stop. And realistically, almost all of us, meaning me too, at times say or do things that aren't nice. It just happens, even if you're generally a good person, which I assume you are. And so you can't stop others from doing or saying hurtful things, but what you can do is take steps to minimize the impact on you of others, like rude or mean behaviors. Okay, this is really important. If someone is being aggressive or violent towards you in person, get out of there as fast and in the best way you can. Don't stop and think about the 2 steps I'm going to give you. Leave that situation. That is not the time to use this. Please, please be safe. Okay, also, I am not advocating letting someone who is hateful to you continue to hurt you. If you're being harmed mentally, emotionally, or physically, please get the help you need to get out of that situation in the best way possible so you're safe. Your safety includes your mental and emotional well-being. It's not just about being physically safe. Those things are really important too. Those all comprise your safety. And being safe is the most important thing here. Okay. All right. Now, regarding how to drive out darkness with light, here's a simple and fun way to do this. All right, let's use an example. Say someone said something rude to you. Unless you unintentionally hurt someone by not paying attention to what you were doing or what you said, that happens sometimes. That rude comment the person made likely has nothing to do with you. If you didn't accidentally do something that really wasn't the nicest and you just didn't even realize it, then really it's likely the comment really does not have anything to do with you. It likely has to do with what's going on with that person at that time. You just happen to be there at that time. You happen to be in a certain situation, certain place at a certain time, and they would have likely, done the same thing to someone else given the same situation. It's just you just happen to be there. Unfortunately, they did make the rude comment though. So here's what you do to minimize the impact of this hurtful comment on you. And, obviously any other types of hurtful comments, any other types of hurtful behaviors. Okay, so it applies to all of that. Step 1, assume the person is going through challenges that you know nothing about. I mean, this is the reality. You never know. Okay, maybe you know in certain situations, but if it's a stranger in particular, you're not going to know what's going on with them. Okay, so it makes it easier to empathize with someone who's being a jerk if you know something is horrible happening in their life. And, such as they might have just found out that their mom's cancer came back and now it's even worse than it was before. Or, if you know that they haven't found work that pays well enough to keep their housing and they're facing being homeless soon. I mean, those are real things that are happening to people. You just never know, and just countless other types of things happen throughout each person's life. And even if you know the person well, so those were, strangers, but even if you know the person well, you don't necessarily know all the struggles that they're having. People can be very good at hiding their emotions and their challenges. That's something that you might find yourself doing from time to time. And, so examples of this is when people who seem fine end their lives. It's like, what? So tragic, just so tragic. It could also be like someone who seems like they have a really successful life, but they're deep in a damaging addiction. You just really don't know. It really, even with people who are close to you, you don't necessarily know everything that's going on with them, especially in their head. Okay. All right. Assume the other person is having a difficult time. This makes it easier to empathize with them. Now, to be clear, I'm not talking about condoning bad behavior, but rather understanding that there might be reasons that you aren't aware of that could lead the person to do the things they're doing, and that chances are they really have nothing to do with you. It's just you happen to be in a certain situation at that time and this thing happens. Okay. All right. So that's step 1. Assume the person is going through challenges that you know nothing about. Step 2. Now here's the fun part. And there are only 2 steps. So it really is simple and fun. Okay. This fun part is imagine you're a superhero and you have a special shield that deflects negative comments and actions up to the sky to transform them into fireworks. Now, I don't know about you, but I love fireworks and I love this idea because you can actually have a shield just like this by using your imagination. So go for it, right? And because they're in your imagination, you don't even have to worry about causing any kind of fires or damage with the fireworks. They're completely in your imagination, so you can do whatever you want with them. You can make whatever kind of fireworks you want. You can dress up your shield however you want. Doesn't matter. Have fun with it. Play with it. All right. Using the superhero shield helps you change the focus from the negative actions or words towards something that's positive, beautiful, and fun. So it's a pattern interrupter. So, instead of focusing and just like, man, what the heck was that for? Right. Just keep staying there in that moment. That moment's past. It only gets relived when you keep replaying it in your head. Okay. So this helps you stop doing that. All right. So now, awesome. You have a simple and fun way to use empathy and compassion and your superhero shield to minimize the impact on you of hurtful comments or actions. And so, like I mentioned, this helps you change the focus of something that's negative and hurtful into something that's positive, beautiful, and fun. All right, and I want to say this again, just to be clear, please do not stay in a situation where someone could physically harm you. That's not the time. If you're in a situation like that, it's not the time to use these steps. If that happens, get as far away from the person or people as fast and in the best, as fast as possible and the best way you can. Your safety is the most important thing here, okay? Please only use these steps when it seems safe to you to use them without needing to get out of the situation. And realistically, that's going to be most situations, or hopefully, I hope for you, that's most situations. For most people it is, but it might not be for you. So I'm very sorry if that is in fact the case. But I hope that you are able to get out of that, truly get the help you need, get out of a situation like that if it is recurring. All right, so you are the best judge of this. Use your gut feeling, your intuition, and your common sense. So yeah, just don't use it if you're really going to be, if it could be dangerous to you, okay? All right, so that said, like I mentioned, most interactions really aren't physically violent. It's just somebody's blowing off steam. They're having a bad day. They're having a bad moment. It's a reaction. It's just, they're overwhelmed or whatever in that bad moment, and they don't stop themselves from doing or saying something that's not the nicest. It's just, those are most of the interactions that you're likely to have, right? And this through, just, living. And, unless, like I said, for some reason you are actually in one of those other kind of situations. Okay. So yeah, so you have these, you can go ahead, use these 2 simple and fun steps and use them. And the best part is they only take seconds. Like in your mind, they only take seconds. You can just come up with things really quick, something that could have happened that's happening in their life. You can use one, you can just use one situation and use it over and over, or maybe 2, so you have that like really top of mind. It's like, who knows? Or just even the general, who knows what bad things are happening in their life right now, just have compassion and empathy. And that way you can combat darkness with light, like Martin Luther King Jr. said. All right, you have so got this. Oh my gosh. If you'd like more help driving out darkness with light, check out my other offers on successfilled.com. That's successfilled.com, or the word success and the word filled.com. Okay, bye for now.